For years, black folks have been treated like the Rodney Dangerfields of the world. We got no respect. White America's fine with making us Rodney Kings. Now all of a sudden there's a new Rodney on the block. Everybody got a problem with it. I hear people saying, it's a shame what happened to Rodney Hinton Jr.'s son, but the cop he killed wasn't even the cop that was involved. Tell that to the 250,000 people who were victims in Hiroshima and Nagasaki when the U.S. dropped atomic bombs on them. Tell that to the millions of people that were killed by Barack Obama with those drone strikes. Tell that to the millions of people, men, women, and children who've perished in Palestine. Tell it to the millions of people who've died in the Sudan and in the Congo and so on and so forth. And why am I mentioning these places? Because U.S. tax dollars have funded a number of these different genocides, either directly or indirectly, around the world. But you're talking about that wasn't the cop. Those generals, those soldiers, they didn't ask that question. They didn't pose that question. Matter of fact, let's bring it back to this particular soil over here. Tell it to the family of Tamir Rice, the 12-year-old who was gunned down by police in Ohio. Tell it to Kathryn Johnston's family, the 92-year-old who was gunned down in her own home here in the city of Atlanta. Tell it to Malice Green in Detroit, to his family. Tell it to Eleanor Bumper's family in New York. Tell it to Ahmaud Arbery, who's trying to jog down the street, here in the streets of Georgia. Tell it to Trayvon Martin, who was in his father's neighborhood. Tell it to the Oscar Grant family, to the Troy Davidson, so on and so forth. Miss us with all that BS. In war, this is what comes with war. Every year here in the United States, close to 2,000 people are murdered by police. At least 1,500 people murdered by police here in the United States, yearly. But no one's checking to say, okay, well, was it a good cop or a bad cop that killed them or any of that type nonsense. But all of a sudden, when this man decides that enough is enough, and that you just can't murder his child with impunity, we want to get it twisted. Again, we need less Rodney Kings. And all I can say is free Rodney Hinton Jr.